What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Inside the Pit. I am your host, Josh Berg. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. But we're going to do something a little bit different. That made no sense. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today. You guys can expect these regularly as much as I can get content out. Oh my god, my eye. We're going to be doing album reviews, and today I felt like there was no better way to do an album review and kick off the album review series than with Barry Tomorrow's brand new album, Cannibal, that came out July 3rd, 2020. Barry Tomorrow is a UK metalcore band that is on album number 6 now. This is their 6th studio album. They released 5 singles in prep for this album. It was pushed back from an April release date to a July release date due to COVID and the pandemic and everything going on in the world. The album is 11 tracks long, about 43 minutes in length. And how these album reactions and reviews are going to work, I'm not going to be able to do reactions on YouTube. That's because of copyright issues and the length of the video, and it's not going to go well. So the plan will be for me to upload them to a Vimeo site and then put that in the description for you guys to check out. And then once we get a following, to eventually make it a Patreon or whatever. But I do have the album reaction recorded. The links to that's going to be in the description. Very good album. But how those reviews are going to work, they're about 10-15 minute long videos at most. And it's basically going to go over my favorite tracks, what I liked about the album, what I didn't like about the album. I'm not going to give a score because I feel like giving a score to an album will end up spoiling my albums of the year list that's going to come towards the end. Where at the end of the year, I'm going to end up doing my top 20 albums of 2020. We'll go over all 20 albums in depth, honorable mentions, go about what I like, what I didn't like, all that stuff. So I didn't want to give this a ranking because then you guys can just go back, watch all the album reviews, and figure out what the rankings were for all of that stuff. But Barry Tomorrow, felt like this album was like the perfect album to kick off the album reviews because it's one of my most anticipated album releases of the year. My history with Barry Tomorrow, I found them at their last release, 2018. I didn't know much about them, but I heard the song Black Flame. I was shuffling through some old Apple Music playlists that were like 2018 newcomers of metal or something like that. And the song Black Flame came up, and I fell in love with the chorus. And then I dug a little bit deeper, liked Last Walk a lot, More Than Mortals, another really good song. So I ended up really liking the Black Flame album. Production issues were major for me, but the vocals and the guitar riffs are really what I fell in love with the band. And that carries over into their album here in 2020, Cannibal, which is their 6th studio album. This album did not disappoint at all. What I like in my metalcore music, especially when we're talking about just plain old metalcore, melodic metalcore, if you want me to get technical into the subgenres, is these big, epic, clean choruses that are catchy, that are memorable, and that you're always going to be singing along to. And Barry Tomorrow not only did that to perfection, but they did it in every single song. Track 1 to 11 all have memorable choruses that you can sing and bob your head to and headbang to. It's incredible. And the way they balanced it and changed it throughout the entire album was great. Take Choke, for example, which is the album opener. And they lead with this super soft leading guitar before they go in with the riff. And then you have Daniel Winter Bates' scream vocals, growl vocals, before you get James Cameron's, I believe his name's James Cameron. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I believe his name's James Cameron. He's one of my favorite clean vocalists in the genre right now. Comes in with these insane clean vocals. And what they're able to do is what they did with every track is they enhanced the vocals a little bit more and added a little twist in the chorus. So it's not just a rinse and repeat of the same lyrics and same vocal melody over and over and over again. They added a little twist in the instrumental. They added a little twist in the vocal. The best example of that would be the Gray. Is the chorus buildup was a slow buildup. They started out with in the pre-chorus, James just kind of soft singing, and then you hit you with this big epic chorus. But the next time around, he does it the opposite way. It's really cool what they were able to do, the dynamic they were able to create, start to finish. This album did have to take a couple listens to grow on me. The first half of the album was incredible. The first 6 songs I felt all were bangers. And then it took me 2 or 3 listens to get to understand song 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But once I listened to it, once I understood the direction they were going, it is fantastic. I know a lot of people are going to say that this album sounds very generic. It sounds it's very boring structure wise, and that a lot of the songs sound the same. And it takes a real keen ear to find the differences in every single song. My personal favorite track on the album was one of the singles, Better Below, and that is one of the more basic structure songs in the album. But it's that basic structure that everyone nitpicks, but yet those songs that have the basic structure are the ones you always go back to because they're catchy, they don't play around, they're just straight to the point, and they make you remember them. And that's the case with Better Below, which is my favorite track. Out of the non-singles, I think my favorite track is probably Imposter, one of the faster, more thrash intros before it comes in and hits you with that big chorus. Um, I think that what they did with this entire album was really start to finish, really, really well done. Production was way better in this album than in Black Flame, and I felt like the album was more dynamic. It was more the re-listenability of this album was so much more than Black Flame. Black Flame, I can only pull 2, 3 songs that I really enjoy that I could re-listen to. Um, Barry Tomorrow on this album, Cannibal did a great, great job. If I had to nitpick one tiny thing, it was that we didn't really get that big song that had like the full punch scream vocals all the way through. Everyone had kind of like that big clean chorus, which it sounds weird coming from me, a guy that always loves these big epic choruses, but I feel like some people will nitpick it because it doesn't have a lot of variety. And like I said, that's when you have to have the keen ear. You have to, listen to each chorus and find the variety in the chorus that they did really well. Barry Tomorrow writes some of the best melodies for their choruses in the genre right now. Between this album and As I Lay Dying, Shaped by Fire, that released last year, the choruses were incredible. The vocals are insane, and then the guitar leads are so clean in this album that you really you get lost in the vocals, but in the back you can hear that clean guitar playing, and they did an incredible job here. I really had high expectations for this album because it was on my top 5 most anticipated albums of 2020 list. Trivium was number 1, Very Tomorrow I think was like number 3 or 4, and they delivered. They exceeded the expectations. I didn't expect it to be this good, this, I don't want to say perfect, but this consistent from track 1 all the way to track 11, having such catchy melodies and choruses, big epic choruses, and then the incredible breakdown that they were able to incorporate throughout each song too. Not every song had this big mosh pit level breakdown, but every song had a guitar solo or breakdown that was able to divide up the vocals really well, that made the songs flow a lot better together. As I mentioned, my favorite songs were Better Below. Imposter was my favorite non-single, and I also really liked The Gray as well. The Gray was the single that I didn't like the most. Out of the 5 singles they released, it was my least favorite. And then I listened to it in the album, um, start to finish. I listened to it in that album cycle, and it fit perfectly. The chorus is one of my favorites in the entire album. They did an incredible job with song structure in that particular track. It was incredible. It definitely moved up to my number 3. As far as my least favorite on the track, if I had, or on the album, if I had to pick one, I didn't like tracks 10 and 11, Cold Sleep and Dark Infinite. I felt and it was a good way to end the album, but I felt like those 2 songs weren't on par with the first 9 tracks that were all incredibly different, diverse, but those last 2 kind of lacked the creativity a little bit, but they fit the album what they needed at that particular album slot, which works perfectly for them. So Barry Tomorrow definitely delivered on this album. They are going to be in discussion for that top 20 spots, I would assume, when it's all said and done for 2020. Like I said, the selling point for this band is incredible choruses, big, epic choruses that are wide open with both the scream and the clean vocals. The vocal combination between the two were absolutely perfect, and then the guitar riffs and guitar leads absolutely um, perfect for what they needed in each song. The diversity was really awesome. So if you're looking for a classic melodic metalcore album that you want big epic choruses, you want to get punched in the face before you get opened up into like this big, insane, um, almost like, I don't want to say it's heaven because it's not heaven, but it's just like you could just sit there and listen to it all day long. Soothing vocals. Barry Tomorrow's Cannibal is definitely for you. You gotta go check it out. If you're not gonna check out the entire album, like I said, I recommend listening to all the singles, all 5 of them. That's Choke, Cannibal, Better Below, Gods and Machines, and The Gray. And then listen to Imposter, because Imposter will make you want to dive back into the album because it's so different from the singles. And because, like I said, each song really differentiated from itself, but the Imposter is in between 2 of the singles, and you could distinctively tell the difference between all 3 tracks. But Imposter really stands out because that thrashy beginning was really awesome. So Barry Tomorrow's Cannibal, really good album. You got to go check it out. They're definitely going to be at towards that top 20 list for me for sure. They did an incredible job with this album. If you guys do like more album reviews like this, go ahead and leave a comment down below what other albums you guys want to see reviews. Like I said, I'll put the album reaction in the description down below. You guys can go ahead and check that out if you want to on vimeo.com. Like I said, the link will be in the description. And that's going to be it for the video. Make sure you like and comment on the video. Subscribe if you are brand new. Like I said, brand new channel inside the pit, trying to get my way into the music YouTube scene with metal. Shout out to Hardcore and his fan base for really pushing me along. I've been a fan of theirs for years, and they've been supporting me, so I really do appreciate all of them, all those boys in the Discord chat. Really, really awesome. So, thank you guys so much for going ahead and taking a listen. Go listen to Barry Tomorrow's Cannibal album. It's incredible. And until the next time, I'm Josh. I'm signing out.